We lost our connection there for a second, but we're back.
Cool. So we're back on?
Yeah.
Great.
And for people who are watching, we just froze for a little bit, and then we're back. So anyhow, back to the wheel.
That we haven't spun yet.
What are our topics for this week?
Our topics are, it still says we're ended. But if we're good again, our topics are, as always, games we gamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
The games we played during the week, and maybe liked, maybe didn't like. We'll talk about them. We're going to do a breakdown this week. We decided to start, since nobody's sending us topics, start doing some show, game, movie breakdowns. We're going to take it and pull apart what we liked and disliked about it.
Yeah.
So maybe to give people more insight if they haven't watched that, or maybe start some discussion if they did. And then we have a segment that I had called Real Monsters.
Which is about monsters.
We're just going to talk about monsters again because it's Spook Month.
Yeah.
October.
Spooky stuff.
And then we're going to do some aliens. Because we always talk about, everything goes back to aliens.
Do we have animal facts this week or no?
And then, we threw cool animal facts in there at the end because that's a good filler. Eventually, I'm going to run out of animal facts, but...
I doubt it. There's a lot of animals.
It's true.
You just got to
I just got to start reading more during the week.
Yeah, you got to start studying.
So that's what we're going to do today.
So what did we land on?
The result is aliens. We're going to start with some aliens.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so did you hear anything in the media recently about aliens? You got some topics you wanted to talk about?
I have not seen any alien reports.
I didn't either.
I haven't been looking, though.
You know what we should do? All right, this is a soft start to this topic.
Okay.
But we should get the app that tracks UFOs
in
your
and then
area.
Talk about the ones for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if any happened near us.
A lot happened around Lake Erie.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even looked into that. I never thought of looking into my local area.
No, Lake Erie is like a
hotspot. Really?
Mm-hmm. Look it up. Look it up on your phone.
That's cool.
It was 3 or 4 years ago. It was on the news. How people kept seeing
So yeah, what happened around Lake Erie though?
People were claiming that these
is it lights?
Lights were flying around Lake Erie, but not only that, some people claim that they came out of the water. The lights came out of the water and then went into the sky.
Lake Erie alien base?
Yeah, they think that's what the thing was. People were saying there's an alien base because we're looking at lights coming out of the lake and going into the lake.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
And you know what's really creepy? I'm not making this up. This is 100%
There's so
legit.
many
This is 100% legit. But when it got on the news,
there's a couple.
I was going out to the lake to look at it because I thought it was cool. It was on national news. Lake Erie aliens.
Way.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
There were unmarked cars there.
Well, I just saw
with people investigating it. No joke. Black suits, whole deal.
I just saw on there that there was an incident where people saw military aircraft and vehicles going out.
Yeah, no joke.
Because they thought it said 2016 UFO Lake Erie crash.
What?
Yeah,
dang it! If we would have known,
I know.
We would have been out there,
dude. I've totally been out there. God, now I gotta start monitoring that. I want to go see the alien base.
Yeah, I always forget. Lake Erie is a big alien hotspot.
Okay, well, this leads into... This was before 2016, but when I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
I totally...
You saw aliens?
No, I saw a UFO.
Mm-hmm. What is that, an encounter of the...
Second
kind?
Right?
Encounter of the fourth kind is when they, touch you. Yeah. Third kind is when you see an actual,
Extraterrestrial?
Extraterrestrial.
I didn't see an alien.
Yeah.
I saw a UFO.
Right.
Okay. But... I was out in my backyard with my friend. I had to be around 10, I think.
Yeah.
So I was old enough to remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I was out in the backyard. We were playing at night. So it's nighttime. There's not a lot of trees in my backyard, okay? I have one tree.
Yeah.
one big tree, and then it was just a cornfield, but the corn was down. So there's
Right.
nothing in the field. Sky is open. Not a lot of stars. It was a
Right.
really dark night.
So it's like cloudy.
Yeah, we were playing like hide and seek out there, right?
Right. Best time to play hide and seek.
Duh.
Right.
Yeah, so we were out there just doing dumb kid stuff, and then he was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "What's what?" And he's like, "That thing over there in the sky." And this is going to sound super stereotypical, but it matches up with a lot of things, okay? It was circular shaped,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like... You could only see the bottom in that it was kind of circular shaped because of the lights on it.
Right.
The lights were organized in a circular pattern, and they weren't all around the thing. It looked like, if I had to compare it to something, it looked like if they put carnival lights on the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
they weren't organized in a circular shape. Like, there were all kinds of different lights, but
Yeah.
they were all like two were here, and then two were perpendicular to those down here, and there was a big one and some small ones down here. It was crazy. There was a whole bunch of different lights on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I've never seen an aircraft look like that.
Mm-hmm. Was it flying in a strange pattern and all that?
It wasn't. It was just like it was going straight, but it wasn't. It looked a lot lower than it should have been,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
it was going relatively slow.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I can think this might be is if there was some weird dirigible flying over my house.
It was going like super slow?
Kind of like dirigible quickly if a dirigible is trying to get somewhere.
Okay.
Right?
That's weird.
Yeah. So, and it went like right over my backyard. Like completely. Like over my backyard in a straight line. So it wasn't doing weird patterns or anything.
That's weird.
Didn't come down any lower, but it was a weird spacecraft. Didn't look like no sound. You know how normally if the plane is
helicopter
flying that
plane,
low,
yeah.
or no sound.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm thinking the only thing it could have been is a dirigible. But how many dirigibles have you seen in your life? And how many Goodyear blimps do they fly at night when no one can see it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never really had any. I went out to the lake a lot
Uh-huh.
when those sightings were happening, just because I was like, I want to see if I see
That's
something.
cool. Yeah.
But
Did you?
all I seen was people in black suits.
That's honestly worse than...
It was really weird, and I was just like, I thought people were playing around or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. But there were literally dudes in black suits.
Or did they have the stereotypical, like, all black on black SUVs with the tinted windows and
It was
stuff?
like black on black cars. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they had, like,
Cars, yeah.
what do they always have? It's like Lincolns or...
Yeah, basically. And they got out, and they're like looking at the lake and talking, and it was weird.
That's super... Like, why would they want to be... Were they in suits? Like, full suits?
Yeah, like Men in
At
Black.
the beach?
No, they were like parked. There's like the
Was it
by the
like over
the lighthouse
causeway?
place where you can like,
Oh,
and they were like looking
okay.
over.
Got it.
Yeah, and they were talking all black.
Weird.
It was weird. Yeah, it's really weird. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the military, I saw that too. You know, when the
There's
when
like
the military like vehicles and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Which there's no bases out here that I know of. Like military bases. Is there?
No, I don't think so.
So why would they be flying out here?
It was weird.
I've
right?
seen military helicopters go over, like,
Yeah.
our area.
But there was like a huge concentration of like military vehicles and whatnot in the area,
Weird.
checking out Lake Erie. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Alien base maybe.
The only other time that I'm pretty sure I saw a UFO, and
Yeah.
I say pretty sure because I'm not saying anything for fact. I'm,
Right.
believe what you will.
Well, I mean, if you see lights coming out of a lake,
Yeah, and
you're
I'm-
like,
Yeah. And I'm only going with what I know of aircraft, which isn't a lot. I'm not an experienced avian.
aviator.
Yeah.
Not an aviator at all.
Yeah, no. I don't fly planes. But from what I know about aircraft, these are weird. So another time, this is when I was like 17, 18, so just a couple years ago, I saw... I was at a park. Again at night, because we do weird stuff at night.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you see aliens too.
It was
so.
like 10:30. I was at a park, climbed on the roof of a building.
Mhm.
I shouldn't probably been on top of a building.
Right.
But we were laying on the roof, and there was I joke you not, right? There's
Fleet.
a fleet. There was just like 13 aircraft. Now
Yeah.
these ones didn't have all the lights.
Right.
There was just a singular light on all of them, so you could see them.
Yeah.
but which I thought maybe airplane then, because I've seen an airplane with like 1 or 2 lights on it.
Mm-hmm.
But these things, there was like 13 of them, and they were all just like going all over the place in the sky, like around this focal point. And there was a couple, and there was a lot more spread out.
Right.
Like 13.
You think it was drones?
Maybe it could have been, but we don't have an airport, so even if it wasn't aliens, there was some weird stuff going on that night in the sky.
Yeah.
Like some weird military test or something,
or just like people flying drones, a drone meetup.
But drones weren't super huge then. I mean, they had them.
Right, it could have happened.
It could have, but why at night? Why would you fly your drones at night? I feel like,
mm-hmm.
Again, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
Anyway, it was weird.
That is weird.
That's another thing that happened.
Yeah.
That I saw and witnessed personally. But
we gotta check out, like, next time we see Lake Erie sightings where there's UFOs coming out of it. We gotta go.
Get some footage. We'll post that up.
Because I can't believe we live where the national news is talking about an alien base.
That never happens.
Yeah, like, nothing happens here. It's super boring.
Except we have a base in Lake Erie.
Apparently there's an alien base at the bottom of Lake Erie, which is the grossest lake. Worst place for a base.
Or best place for a base, because they're not going to see it.
Right.
Dude, that water's so dirty.
That water's nasty.
Honestly, it's probably a good place for a base.
So what if there is, let's hypothetically, right? Mm-hmm. There's aliens at the bottom of a lake. Why are they there?
To hide.
Why?
Well, not to hide, but to hide their base.
But why?
Why? Well, because if they've studied us for any point, any small amount of time, they know that we'll check them out completely, and the military will swarm if we see a base of some sort that's not ours.
Well, let's think about this though. They're superior to us in intelligence, or at least technology, right? Mm-hmm. Why do they need to hide?
Maybe they just don't want to interact with us.
So they go to the bottom of the lake?
Yeah, because we would check it out. If we just saw a base on, like, I don't know, Route 2, it's on the side of Route 2, we would stop and look at it and make a huge deal about it. I think they hide because they don't want to talk to us, and they're just kind of observing.
Why? I guess my biggest question is, when this comes up, is why are they observing? If they're so technologically superior, right?
Well, there's a couple reasons, right? They could be mapping out strategies to take over the planet.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that's true.
Right.
They could just be refugees trying to survive, and they just don't want to
interfere
our planet or get wiped out. Maybe they're not super technologically ahead of us, and they are afraid that we would, just with our sheer numbers, wipe them out.
Well, like if you can land a UFO, right?
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Okay.
And make a base.
Yeah.
In the ocean. I mean, at the bottom of a lake. You're pretty far.
What if it's
ahead.
just like a mothership type deal though? And they just landed it there, like they didn't build it.
Well, just the idea of a vehicle that can not only go in the water but fly interdimensionally. That's pretty intense.
What if they don't have a lot of those ships, and the ships don't have great defenses? Like they travel. Like what if it's the Prius?
The Prius of
the
UFOs?
Alien fleet. Like they got good mileage, right? But it's not like a tank.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's true. It's weird for me, like, when people talk about it seriously and they take it for a fact, because I don't like to take anything for fact, especially when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me to think that there's all these alien bases in water. Why?
That's true. But maybe, because recently I found out that my science book was lying to me the entire time.
What book?
My science book.
Oh, your science book.
In my science class, they just taught you stupid stuff that they didn't know for sure.
Like the taste bud thing?
Yeah, like the taste bud thing, where all your taste buds don't have, like, separate sectors where you taste sour. Like, if you put a sour piece of candy on any part of your tongue, it's going to be sour.
It's going to be sour. Because your taste buds all work independently and together, instead of sections like the science books used to say back in the day.
Yeah, they're stupid. And that's... They call millennials real stupid, but,
That's pretty dumb.
we got taught some dumb stuff.
You know another dumb thing, left brain, right brain?
Yeah.
That's not true.
I don't think so either. I never believed that.
It's no, I mean it's for a fact not true. People aren't left-brained or right-brained. The whole brain does things. It's called lateralization, where the brain like
compartmentalizes things.
It like bounces information back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Right, but some sections
they can
of the
track where your brain lights up.
Yeah.
On a sensor when you like do certain things.
Right. Some sections of the brain handle language more than other sections,
but
it all works together as one piece. And it's also the 10% thing where people are like, we only use 10%. That's not true either. Yeah, we have all kinds of these things where we just believe them because someone told us, like carrots make your vision better. No, they don't.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so we're pretty dumb.
I ate so many carrots when I was a child because I had bad eyes.
It didn't help.
No. But they taught us a bunch of stupid stuff, and one of the things that they taught us was that the Earth, it has 3 layers. It's crust, mantle, core. Right?
Right.
Not true.
Nope.
Not at all true. They think there might be an ocean down there now. So maybe, if there's an ocean down there, aliens have underground passageways that they've mapped out because they can do that.
Right.
And maybe all their bases they can get to underground. We don't know.
Yeah. I like the theory that we evolved along with other creatures and they just chose different places to live.
Yeah, that too. Maybe they like
underground
water.
or water.
Yeah, maybe they like water. Maybe their home planet, or not even home planet. Maybe their, I don't know, race.
Yeah.
Just liked water. Maybe they were the Atlanteans.
Maybe they're reptilian and they can see in the dark.
Crocodiles don't need to live in water, but man, do they like it.
Right. That's true. You're right. So yeah, I mean, those theories make more sense to me than these grays are coming down and they're just observing us.
Yeah.
And you can look up anything that we're talking about too, because we do get stuff wrong. But I can tell you for a fact.
Normally we fact check ourselves.
The brain thing is 100% correct.
Yeah.
I was doing research on the brain all week, and we may not use our brain to the full potential, right? There may be ways to more efficiently think and use our brain better, but we don't just use 10% of our brain. If we did, then you could remove 90% of your brain and still live.
Yeah.
Which you can't do.
Oh, you die.
you die, yeah. Like there are people that live with only portions of their brain, right?
Yeah.
But there are, ill effects because of that, memory loss and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's people who have lost certain sections of their brain where they couldn't remember anything. Their memory restarted like every 3 seconds.
Dude, you know what I just heard on the interwebs?
What's that?
Frankie Muniz. You remember that?
Oh
guy?
yeah, he had a whole bunch of concussions.
Yeah, he had like 9, I think it was, concussions, and he has like terrible memory loss, and he had a couple like mini strokes. That's super sad. I like Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, it is super sad.
He was aging Cody Banks.
Yeah, and he was Malcolm.
He doesn't remember a lot of being Malcolm in the Middle,
which is a bummer.
Yeah, it's a good show. Sad, really.
Yeah, concussions is something we really need to study more. Because like that one athlete that just hung himself, I forget his name because I didn't keep up to date with the story.
I'm not good on athletes.
Something Aaron Rodriguez or something. I gotta remember. I'll post it on our Twitter later. But he did some crazy stuff. He ended up killing someone, and they found out that he had suffered so many concussions that he had aggressive behavior as a result. So it wasn't even like something that he chose to do. It was his brain.
Like a chemical imbalance because repeated trauma to the brain.
Yeah, like if you hit your brain a whole lot, there's side effects, and those side effects are memory loss, aggression. It's really sad. We have a lot of people running around with where they hurt themselves or had a concussion, and they don't realize that there's long-standing effects from that. And it's like, I forget what it's called, but it's when you get a concussion, every concussion after that increases the damage that you did. It's not something that you just heal up, essentially.
So what you're saying is it stacks.
Yeah, it stacks. If we're going to talk about RPGs,
put it in nerd terms.
If we're going to put it in nerd terms, concussions stack.
Okay.
So some people run around with a stack of 20 concussions, and it causes aggression and just dumb decisions overall. We really need to start looking into that, because I mean, I know a lot of people that have gotten concussions just as a kid, running around, smash your head into something.
Yeah.
And what did people tell you? Don't go to sleep.
I know a couple.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
Don't go to sleep. I'm like, but I have to. I've never had a concussion. Have you ever had a concussion?
No, I've never had a concussion. I know people who have, but
I know people
but
who
like,
have. My cousin did.
yeah.
A couple of my cousins actually.
Just the brain in general. I think we need to, like, if we're going to understand things and be able to better, like this goes into aliens too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna understand things better and try to figure out what goes on in general, we need to work on the brain and understand it.
But then we can't have football.
we could do football better, right? There's all kinds of technology for, cushioning your head.
Yeah.
Nah,
let's just throw some tiny pillows in there and let them smack into each other full speed. That's
I mean,
great.
I don't want to dumb down the sport or make it, like, softer, but at the same time, we can't have a bunch of people, hundreds of people running around with potentially aggressive behavior because they knock their head around too much.
No, we can, and we're going to pay them a lot so they can have anything they want because of it.
And it's the same thing, like, another perfect example of people not understanding how the brain works is in World War I, shell shock.
Yeah.
That's the first documented where they took it seriously. People were messed up.
Oh, yeah.
And those people, before we found out about post-traumatic stress disorder and shell shock, which it was called before post-traumatic stress disorder, those people were sometimes killed and executed because they were seen as cowards.
Yeah.
But it was their brain literally breaking because of the stress. Just crack,
It's not okay.
Yeah. And there's so little about the brain that we know.
Yeah.
And then when we don't update our information about it, where people are still believing left brain, right brain, and all this stuff, it just leads.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it leads to, like, people thinking light of mental disorders.
Which is wrong.
Which is
They shouldn't.
right. Like, if we're gonna succeed, become more intelligent, we have to understand how we work.
And you have to.
We can't be telling people.
You have to recognize a problem.
Yeah.
When it's there.
Yeah, we can't be telling people that our taste buds have certain sections that taste only certain things. It's just...
That's why aliens don't talk to us.
Because we're stupid.
We're stupid. Do you know... Okay, this is another alien topic. Do you know about the WOW signal?
Yeah, the WOW signal.
Happened in Ohio, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens.
It's
Ohio's an alien hotspot.
It's because there's a... Isn't there a
large, is it SETI satellite?
Aeronautical something or another?
There's a large base.
Yeah.
Where they monitor a lot of the space goings on with large satellites. They have a lot of satellite dishes. Was it? It wasn't Ohio State, was it? Was it? Oh, it was one of the Ohio colleges that this happened at.
The WOW signal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, we got the WOW signal.
Yeah.
And they said it was the WOW signal. That's what they labeled it because when the guy that was monitoring it saw the influx of information,
he said, wow.
He circled it in red and said, wow.
Wow signal.
So it was just this weird assortment of code that they received from space that I don't know a lot about it, but it merited their looking into. It wasn't just the normal space static that they get, I guess.
Yeah.
So then they tried to pinpoint the location. They think they pinpointed the location on where this information came from, and they beamed a whole bunch of information from Earth to that location in that galaxy to try to communicate and reach other life out there. But what we sent to them was super dumb. We let a whole bunch of celebrities send tweets.
Oh, that's good.
No, that's the opposite of good.
I was being sarcastic.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
They let, like, a Miss Universe send out a tweet.
A message?
And she was like, "Hi, I'm Miss Universe. I'm the prettiest girl in the galaxy that we know of." And then she's like, I don't know. She said, "I hope you join our," I don't know. I forget. It was stupid.
But
she's
what
like,
they sent was stupid.
yeah, she's like, "Come to Earth. I'm the prettiest girl in the galaxy." And I was like, oh my god, this is so dumb.
Right.
The funniest one was Stephen Colbert, I think they let tweet
Oh,
out.
no.
And I forget what he said, but I think it was something like, just don't come here.
Just don't come here. It's a terrible place.
I was like...
It's a terrible place. Don't come here.
It probably didn't say don't come here, but he said something super sarcastic, and it was pretty funny. But they sent out a whole bunch of celebrity tweets. Like, we could have sent anything like, hi, we're what we call Earth.
Yeah. Which is a super interesting topic in itself.
We should have sent pictures, maybe, of
Well,
water, mountains.
or we shouldn't send anything because we're like telling them where to come and kill us.
That's another stupid thing.
If they're, aggressive.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
We don't know. But
They could have been sending a message that said surrender or we'll blow you up, and we're just like, hey, this is McDonald's. We were just calling to tell you. Yeah, it's super
You know what's super interesting about Earth, and just in Earth in general? Nobody knows where the name of our planet came from.
Really?
Yeah. We've just always been calling it Earth. Isn't that weird?
Why do we call it Earth? Let's call it something cool, like, I don't know.
It means dirt, essentially.
Yeah. We call our planet is dirt, all right? It's trash.
Isn't that interesting, though, that we don't know the origin of our own planet name? It's
we
super
should
cool.
come up with a cooler name.
I don't think it's going to catch on.
I don't know. We live on Phantasma.
Phantasma,
That sounds cool.
76.
Why 76? Then we got to come up with where the other 75 went.
But what was it? I was going to say something super interesting. Oh, back to the whole alien thing, right? I have a theory about non-aggressive aliens, right?
Uh-huh.
I feel like you can't advance, right, to where they are if you are aggressive.
Okay, so
Do you get
we're
what I'm
never
saying?
going to get there.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because,
Yeah.
let's consider this, right? We never lost the Library of Alexandria.
Huh.
We never went through the Dark Ages.
We'd have a lot more information.
We never destroyed other cultures and other ideas. We were not aggressive, and we worked together consistently. How much further would we be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in order for them to get to where they are, where they can travel space and probably blow up planets, they have to be non-aggressive. Otherwise, they would have either destroyed themselves or they would have killed us on contact. Because that's what we would do.
I would do that, yeah.
Definitely. We'd be like, oh, shit.
Well, that's our planet. Sorry.
It's ours now.
That's true. I could agree with that. That makes a lot of sense.
That's just a theory. Like, I feel like once you, for us especially, like if we discover a power beyond nuclear, right? It's even more devastating than nuclear power.
Like a dark matter type deal, or like
something that can create black holes or like totally destroy a planet.
Yeah.
We will destroy ourselves.
Oh yeah. Maybe even on accident, just trying to figure it out.
Right.
What's the stuff they had in Star Trek? It's like the red matter or whatever.
Did it like destroy planets?
Well, essentially just like reset time for a couple seconds, but we would take something stupid like that and just make a weapon out of it and blow things up.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we do.
That's our favorite thing to do.
Right. So, like, I have an issue just in general with thinking that aliens are aggressive because it's hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
Because look how wrecked up, how we wreck up Earth even today.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like
that's one of the things they think that aliens may have been from Mars, right? That Mars used to be a planet like Earth until they went through a complete obliteration, of the planet,
mm-hmm.
and then they were like, "Oh no!" and then they escaped, and then that's the aliens we have now.
And it's interesting too because they have like xenon something. It's like a marker, an indicator after a nuclear weapon goes off. Mm-hmm. That can't exist without a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, and they found
it on Mars.
That radiation on Mars, yeah.
So that's interesting. It's possible, I suppose, that we lived on Mars at one time.
Yeah, and that would make sense because if we came here and just started wiping our own information out, eventually that information is going to be lost.
Well, if let's say Earth got destroyed, right, and some of us escaped, we wouldn't be able to retain all that all the information from Earth.
No, because it's on computers.
And over time, we would lose that information altogether.
Yeah, it's just what happened a couple times already.
Right, we've lost tons of information over the years. Like, I mean, look at the Middle East. The Middle East is a perfect example where they have this upheaval and where there's destruction of ancient artifacts and stuff. Mm-hmm. They destroy libraries. They blow up
Why?
statues. They've been doing this since the beginning of time, I assume. So we have no idea what's here or what we know.
Yeah.
Because we destroy things.
If it existed, we broke it.
And that's another theory, too, with aliens. Like, maybe they don't want to interact with us because they're afraid of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're scary.
Well, yeah, it's like... I think it was like Men in Black where they're like, we can't give people alien technology because
They'll kill
it's
them.
bad. We will end
Earth
everything.
will
Yeah.
end.
Earth will end itself.
Yeah. Which is true. I feel that's very accurate.
But yeah, that's some good insight into some aliens. What I think you're on the right track with they just don't want to interact with us because they're probably peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't think they're super aggressive. Otherwise, they would have done something. So
Yeah. I wish I could figure out the whole probing thing. What's that about?
yeah, I don't know.
That's weird, right? Like every time an alien story, I got abducted and
Maybe
butt stuff.
maybe they're peaceful but a little passive aggressive. You know? So they're like, we're not gonna take over your planet, but you're gonna get some stuff up your butt. And maybe they are just testing because we do that on animals. So maybe they're just doing some experiments. Yeah. And there's a whole thing that I was watching Ancient Aliens the other night where people think that they're combining their DNA to try to create a new species of them that can live better on our planet.
That's an interesting thing too. If maybe the Greys, let's talk about Greys. That's just how they evolved to be because they've been in space.
Yeah.
So they become gray and they become, enlarged head and whatnot, lanky, no muscles.
Well, you don't need a lot of muscle to move around in zero gravity.
You don't need muscles at all. The astronauts constantly have to exercise in space or they'll lose entire, all their muscles because it's unnecessary.
They get atrophied.
Yeah, so it's possible.
Yeah. So maybe they're just trying to create a new version of them that can live better on this planet to continue to study this planet.
Right. You want to see what comes up next?
Yeah, let's spin our wheel again. Our ether wheel.
What topic will we talk about next?
Real monsters.
Right on. So, I
you
found a
had
list
some topics, right?
I found a image on Reddit. It was on the front page.
Uh-huh.
And it's got a list of monsters for this month. And
Reddit's a great place to find spoopy stuff. There's
how
so many
spoopy it
cool
is this month.
Reddit posts about anything you can think of horror related.
Yeah, so like South Africa has some really creepy monsters.
Okay, that's the last place I would have guessed, but I'm interested. You got me. What you got?
There's a monster called Groot Slang, Groot.
Like I am Groot?
Yeah, like Groot, and then slang at the end, right?
Okay.
And it is a massive serpentine elephant that plagues a deep cave in Richterfeld.
I kind of got that because there is a snake called the boomslang. So I was like, all right, maybe serpentine. So it's a snake elephant?
Yeah. Super creepy.
Does it have the head of an elephant?
It has the head of an elephant.
In the body of a snake?
In the body of a snake. You can see the picture right here.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
All right. And what is it? Kind of? Do we know what it does?
It's in this specific cave and it eats people.
Okay, so it's just like a crazy guardian of this cave.
Yeah.
So it's like
or it's like the cave is like its habitat.
But what if it is guarding something?
Treasure, probably.
Like lots of it. Okay, what if... We're going to jump back on the other topic real quick. What if all those messed up creatures were alien experiments that they just let loose?
I suppose it's possible.
Okay, I didn't want to go super far back into it, but that's a thing that could happen.
Right.
If they're doing DNA experiments to try to fuse themselves with humans... what if they were messing with the local flora and fauna first?
And they made an elephant snake.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the weirdest combination, though.
And they're weird. They don't know what things do down here. Maybe they were just putting things together and hoping for the best.
Then there's a gigantic winged eel.
Oh, wait. Elephant wouldn't be too far of a jump because they're pretty intelligent. Elephants have really good memories. Maybe
That's true.
Maybe they're trying to make, a creature that with some intelligence that could also have the prowess of a snake.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. I'm throwing it out there.
I mean, it makes sense. I suppose. I just don't like. It just seems like an unlikely duo. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because elephants and snakes both have pretty good senses.
That's true.
You know what snakes don't have? Hearing. You know, elephants have great hearing.
But there's also a gigantic winged eel. Apparently has a crazy appetite.
Does it live in the water or in the air?
It lives in the water, and it's associated with brutal storms. Like, people see it before a storm happens or while a storm is happening.
What if it's actually a dragon?
It looks like a dragon.
What? That looks...
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's
Wait, I got it.
Inkinyamba.
Inkinyamba. Yeah, it's definitely Inkinyamba.
Yeah.
But that looks like a dragon, like a sea serpent.
Yeah, it looks like a sea serpent. It's super creepy.
And it brings storms.
And it brings... Or is spotted...
In storms.
In storms.
Okay.
Then in Egypt, there's a thing called an amit. A-M-M-I-T.
Is that the crocodile lion thing?
Yes, it's a lion, hippo, crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about hippos, they're terrifying.
Hippos are.
Like...
They kill crocodiles.
They kill people. Like...
Oh, I would never approach a hippopotamus.
No, they're super aggressive too. Like, if you get near a hippo, it will eat you. It bites people in half.
True.
They're scary. Like, would I rather fight a lion or a hippo? I'm going to choose the lion every single time.
Yeah, especially like a male lion, because they don't do a lot.
Yeah. Hippos are terrifying.
Yeah. And they're big.
And they're massive.
They're really big. And they run real fast.
Yeah.
Like way faster than you think a hippo would
And you want to go in the water to hide from them?
No.
Not a good idea.
No.
Hippos are scary.
I don't think they can climb trees, though. That might be your saving grace.
They probably
there's not a lot of trees down there.
They could probably just knock the tree over, though, to be honest. They're freaking massive. Hippos are scary. Like, if you want to talk about real monsters,
the
hippos.
hippo. That's a real monster.
Yeah. I'm sure there's, like...
That's a messed up creature, too.
Yeah. It's just a giant... It's like a water rhinoceros.
Yeah.
With a crazy jaw that can, like, pop your head right off.
Yeah. And giant spear teeth.
Yeah, they're scary. And then you see the baby ones, and they're like, oh, look at that. Look at that squishy thing. And then they turn into murder machines.
Yeah. You don't want to be on the wrong side of hungry hippos.
No. What else do you have any that you can think of?
Ooh, some weird monsters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about more weird combination creatures, or...
Just weird monsters that maybe people are unaware of.
Wendigos are pretty messed up. I don't think we ever covered those here.
Wendigos are pretty messed up.
Wendigos are less creature, more humanoid. They apparently happen in Native American culture when somebody turns to cannibalism.
Don't they, like, shed their skin, too, or something?
Yeah, they kind of, like, shed their skin and become this evil spirit.
Yeah.
It stems from cannibalism. So, like, if you hear stories about people, like, starving in a cold environment, someone turned to cannibalism, like their friend died, or they murdered that person, right? That is viewed, obviously, as an evil deed, and then they consume that. They have essentially turned themselves into a monster, is what the Native American culture, dictated. So then this evil spirit Wendigo takes on more monstrous features. So a lot of times they're drawn with, like, antlers, or
right.
They get taller. You see them always being those, like, 8-foot creatures with fangs and claws. And then they're forever cursed to, wander the woods and eat people.
Yeah, it says right here, cannibalistic monsters, possibly once human until starvation and greed drove them into madness.
Yeah. So they've lost their humanity and are now this ravenous devouring creature.
And the Choctaw, which is another Native American tribe, have I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's essentially a long black being that slithers and melts into shadows.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. And you don't really hear about these stories because you have all these like traditional monsters,
Bigfoots and
werewolves and vampires and what have you.
A lot of cultures, you know how a lot of them have werewolves and people that turn into wolves and stuff. A lot of cultures also across the globe have flying serpents.
Yeah.
Which, I picked that from the, flying eel, but flying serpents seem to be really prevalent all across the world, and I'm going to lean towards dragon. Maybe dragons once were a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say they were super prevalent, and because we don't find a lot of dragon bones like you do find like Tyrannosaurus bones, other dinosaur bones.
Well, how do we know that dinosaurs could blow fire?
That's true too.
Yeah,
like most of if that part was organic, if it was an organic compound,
well, you think about beetles, right? Some beetles can spit acid, which is the combination of two chemicals in their body. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't some dinosaurs be able to do the same? And if there were flying,
there's lizards that could do that too. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. And if let's say there was a flying dragon, right? Mm-hmm. You would have to assume that the flying dragon was lightweight, so you might not have good fossil records of them, because do you have good fossil records of birds? You know what I mean? Because their bones they degrade faster.
Yeah, I don't know. See,
they got to be lighter if they're flying.
Yeah.
They have to be made of something other than dense bone.
Yeah. And maybe they weren't flying. Maybe it was more like the flying lizard type deal where they just glided.
Yeah, falling with style.
Yeah, maybe they just had large flaps of skin that they would jump off of high places. Yeah.
Well, people still say they see pterodactyls today, which is super cool.
Yeah. That's linked to the Thunderbird thing too. Like, maybe they were big birds, but maybe they were pterodactyls or pterodons.
Yeah, or something even worse.
Some sort of a pterosaurs.
Yeah. There's some... I was looking at something before we got into that. Let me look at it real quick. Oh, the Mongolian death worm. That's super interesting.
Oh, yeah. Because I've looked at multiple posts about that. Because people think it exists, but, no one's ever seen it.
Yeah, well, how could you, right? Think about Egypt. They say, 90% of Egypt is still buried in sand. Imagine the vastness of deserts. There could be a crazy worm in there.
Mongolian death worms are essentially tremors.
Essentially tremors, but they didn't get dumb in the second one where they can walk on land.
Yeah, Tremors was pretty scary. So, but they can shoot acid too, right?
They can shoot acid, yeah.
Yeah.
Super scary.
How big are they supposedly? They get decent size. Don't they get 6 feet long or something? I think
people that...
they're not tremor sized, but...
Well, nobody ever sees the full worm.
Yeah.
They come out, they spit acid, they eat you, and then they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people that supposedly saw them, right?
They're guesstimating.
Yeah, or they just die,
Yeah.
They don't have any stories to tell.
But
super interesting.
That's a good one. I forgot about that.
And people still have stories today of
there's
Mongolian
still sightings.
Death worms, yeah. That's a super spooky monster.
That's the only thing I thought of on the SpongeBob episode with the Alaskan bullworm.
Alaskan bullworm.
Mongolian death worms.
Except for he didn't shoot acid.
No, he didn't shoot acid.
But I love that monster. I wish we had seen more about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird... Because it doesn't have the horror factor. It's just something really messed up.
I mean, if you're in a desert, it has a horror factor.
Yes.
You're sitting in your tent, worm spits acid, eats you, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's true. And, not a lot of people are in deserts. That's another place you could hide something. You know?
Yeah.
Just like oceans, how they're so vast, there could be lots of large things there. I feel like deserts, there's so few people that you could hide something in a desert.
Yeah, and the thing about deserts is they're mostly created by people.
Yeah.
When you destroy there's
an ecosystem.
Yeah, there's a post about an Indonesian guy who he stopped a desert from moving because he planted trees and brought the area back to life essentially. Deserts I mean, they will engulf everything if you don't take the proper precautions to prevent it from happening.
Could that have happened to Mars too?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, if erosion happens all the time, but you can slow it down, right? Root systems and whatnot slow it down.
Just plant some grass.
Just imagine what's under deserts, though. Like, there could be all kinds of creatures that adapted to that specific ecosystem, and they got to be funky.
And and then there has to be a new ecosystem. Otherwise, those creatures will just keep growing. And can you imagine like a giant scorpion? Because I don't think arachnids ever stop growing like their entire lives.
It's possible.
Spiders molt, and the spiders just keep getting bigger. Spiders would become giant if they didn't die by natural causes. Weather, creatures that eat them. Mm-hmm. So they would grow infinitely, kind of like reptiles do.
Yeah.
What if there's just a giant scorpion out there somewhere?
That'd be cool, like in Fallout.
I'm gonna say no, because there wouldn't be anything large enough for them to eat in a desert.
Yeah, that's the problem with giant monsters, really. That's always the problem, is like, what do they eat?
Yeah.
They have, just to survive, just to maintain, they have to eat.
I think the only way they could get that big is a reptile, because they can go for like months without eating. So I think on a larger scale, if they ate something large enough, they could go for like years without eating, probably.
I mean, look at like, what are they called? Komodo dragons. Yeah. They're pretty big.
They are pretty big.
Yeah, and those things are nasty too. Yeah. Another real live monster, Komodo dragons. If they bite you,
ooh, that's gonna be one of my animal topics when we get to it.
You're done. You get bit by a Komodo dragon, you have an infection.
Yeah,
you're poisoned. You're toast.
Yeah.
And there's people. Have you seen the YouTube videos of people running from them?
Yeah, they're so fast. They're so fast. It's scary.
They're scary. And they're only on like one island? They're only in like one area.
The Komodo Islands?
Yeah. Just one. That's crazy too.
Well, it's probably because we're keeping them there. Like if those things got out, that's not a good thing.
But that's a real monster for sure.
That's a real one.
One that documented. You can.
Yeah. What if there's eels? Okay, I'm going back to the eel thing again. That really triggered something in my brain. What if an eel got that big in the water?
I'm sure eels could get that big, yeah.
Yeah. But just a normal eel. Because eels are pretty scary. I wouldn't stick my hand in an eel tank, right? Like a moray eel. The ones with the crazy teeth that always have like the piercing eyeballs.
Yeah, and we talked about eels last week, and it's on Twitter, like electric eels.
Yeah.
Super cool.
But these, like the moray eels, right? The ones that live in rocks and stuff?
Yeah.
What if you got a real big one?
Yeah, you could do that.
Like a real big one.
I mean,
and
eels
then
are
that lived down the water. That would be a sea serpent. If people, out in the water were like, what is that?
Right.
Nothing, just a 50-foot eel.
Right.
It fits out there, because they're kind of skinny.
I would say the only places...
that big around? That fits out there?
Right. I would say the only places where, like, actual monsters... Swamps, too. That's another thing.
Ooh, yeah.
That, like, there's entire sections of swamps that haven't been... There's just nothing they can get back there.
Did you see? It wasn't this. It was a couple years ago. I think it was when Katrina hit, Hurricane Katrina.
Lizard man sightings?
No, that was a thing. No, but I'm talking about actual. This is a real thing again. They found, I think it was a 21-foot alligator.
Oh, Jesus!
That is a big alligator, and it was just swimming down the street because it could.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That thing's huge.
21 feet.
Do you know? 21 feet is big.
Well, think about it. How large a swamp ecosystem? How many creatures live in a swamp? It's not like they're limited on food there. Yeah. And the weather is pretty consistent, except for when hurricanes happen. But yeah, there could be a lot of creepy stuff in swamps.
21 foot.
I know I wouldn't go in a swamp.
No.
Nope.
I know what lives there, and
I'm not interested.
No. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. You know what would be really cool if we could create like. Have you ever played the game Crisis?
No, I don't think
it's
so.
Like they wear these suits essentially that make them superhuman.
Okay.
Yeah, if we could create...
It's like a Captain America type deal?
No, it's like a Master Chief type deal.
Oh, okay, got it.
But the suits actually like augment the person in them.
Yeah. If
we could create Crisis-like suits to go adventure places where we couldn't get... Yeah, like swamps and stuff.
That would be scary. Cool. That's a scary occupation.
We already have drones, though. I feel like we could do a lot of, like...
It's weird that we haven't done that. Don't you think?
I think range is an issue.
But isn't it weird to you that we haven't mapped out every place in the map already? With the
I mean, we
technology
have mapped everything out, but we haven't extensively searched in like swamps and stuff. Because even if you have the satellite view of a swamp, you know, there's a lot of foliage and stuff. You can't really see in there. I feel like we should like put some scanners on drones and fly around and see what kind of snakes and stuff are in there.
Yeah, it's things that can't be, murdered. They're just flying.
Well,
through.
if they crash, oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive, but it's not a person.
So some biodegradable drones.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. There's some. I'm trying to think of some other crazy
Ecosystems that could have
crazy
monsters.
I don't know if this is more paranormal, I guess, than monsters, but there's a thing called Rakshasa, which if you're a D&D player, you know about. Rakshasa are a demonic presence. I think they're devils in the D&D world, but in real world, there are these demonic entities that are essentially tiger men, but their hands are backwards. Okay?
Yeah, and that's not...
So, like, my hand would be backwards.
Right. That's not the only creature with, like, backwards appendages, too. There's a... I forget what culture it is, but there's, like, this seductive woman demon, and she has backwards feet.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's super weird.
I think, like, it's just creepy in general to see something with
backwards
appendages. Yeah, you're just like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Tiger Man,
yeah.
So is it like a
it's like a demonic, it has like demonic powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the normal demonic powers that it has, but it manifests itself as this. It's got a humanoid shape, but its head's a tiger's, and it has tiger fur, kind of.
Yeah. What does it do? Is it just creepy?
Yeah, it does demon stuff. It kills people, tricks people into doing things.
Enjoys long walks on the beach.
Yeah, demon things.
Demon stuff.
Yeah, but that's an interesting, not a lot of other... I mean, I guess a lot of other cultures also have similar things. That's one. A lot of cultures have...
Half people, half animal stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because the Egyptians were big on that.
Oh, for sure.
Egyptians were like one of the largest...
They had a half beetle, half man, half bird, half man.
Yeah.
Yeah, half dog.
They had, Horus, I think, he had a bird head, right?
Thoth?
Yeah. Had a bird head?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Anubis.
Anubis is
a
dog, jackal head, yeah.
Then there was the half crocodile. Who's the half crocodile? I forget his name.
Sobek.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know a lot of the Egyptian
I know a
gods.
lot of mythology for some reason.
That's cool. That's really cool, though. But, yeah, it's weird how all of those cross-culture religions ended up with...
The Sumerians had, like, half bird people, but they didn't have, like, a bird head. They had, like, wings.
Yeah. A lot of them have half snake people, too.
Yep. Snake people.
Which leads into, like, the reptile elite.
And it's funny because it's just the way, like, things work, but we can say, oh, it's just people's imagination. Because look at all the things we create now, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could, like, why wouldn't they want to document something so crazy? And then, again, you can talk about how, like, people are traditionally afraid of snakes, so they create a snake. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to determine, is this real or is this a story, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's scary. If I saw a snake guy, I'd be like, whoa, you know, I'm gonna draw this on a cave. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's so hard to say, like, what if there were, you know, human animal hybrids at one time, you know?
Yeah.
Or is it just like something they did to their kids, you know, to scare kids? But it is in many, many, many cultures where you have these people, animals.
Either way, it's a weird correspondence across many cultures. That they all came up with the same types of things.
Right.
I always find those the most interesting things.
They have the most, like
plausibility, right?
Yeah, because you're like, you know, it's not just one sect of people talking about it. It's an entire... But the stories spread, too.
But all over the world?
Yeah, stories
in different
spread
languages?
all over the world, yeah. They do.
It's just...
It's crazy to think about, you know?
Yeah.
There's just so many angles you can look at it from, and there's no real answer.
I guess.
because we can only look at things the way we see them now,
Yeah.
not the way that things were then, or even how like culture, comedy, just communication in general was. Like nowadays people not only imagine interesting things, but they create them as well. Movies, TV shows, whatnot. You couldn't do that back then, so it's not crazy to think that they didn't just make up these stories it would be interesting. Why wouldn't you have, instead of going to a theater, you have a storyteller and everybody sits around and listens to this guy talk about stuff he makes up.
It's true. I want that job.
Storyteller?
I want to be that guy.
Storyteller.
Yeah, campfire story guy.
But it is
they just
interesting
bring
to
you
think
food
about.
to tell stupid stories that you make up.
And that's why it bothers me so much, that thing you told me, how they sent like celebrity tweets.
Yeah.
Like if some of it was comedy, you can't understand comedy. It's part of your culture,
Yeah.
It's like something that was funny in the 1700s would not be funny to us today.
Yeah, because
and vice versa. It just doesn't make sense. There's no cultural context.
Yeah.
So aliens are going to be
that's why
like,
I thought that was so stupid. It's like, what are they trying to tell us?
Aliens are going to be like, what?
Cool.
What does this
that,
mean? Yeah. Is this a declaration of war?
Exactly. Which is why it's all so stupid. We shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's spin the thing again.
Yeah, that was spooky. Mongolian, I'm going to say...
Mongolian Deathworm is a really good one.
Mongolian Deathworm is my favorite spooky monster this week.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's like top 10 scary monsters anyway.
Yeah.
Like real monsters.
Well, he's not really that scary because he can't like go underwater and stuff. And you stand on a rock, you're pretty safe.
But he's a good one.
He is a good one.
That was a good topic. Okay. So I got games we gamed. What'd you play this week? After you told me about Cuphead.
You played it?
I went out and played some more Cuphead. I streamed it this week.
Good?
It's pretty good, but infuriating.
It is infuriating.
Like, the art is so beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like...
I do have a little... Like, I want to break down Cuphead.
Okay.
So, I have a little bit of an issue with Cuphead when it comes to its art.
Okay.
I love its art style, but I feel like it's too busy sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just so much going on the screen that... Like, with the foreground and the background, which has no, like... say over the player, right?
Mm-hmm.
The foreground and the background don't affect the player at all, but it's distracting sometimes, or it covers like a section of the screen. Specifically, the Candy. I don't know if you fought her. She's like a candy.
No,
queen.
I didn't fight her. I didn't get that far. I'm not very good at the game. So,
there's this Candy Queen section in the game, right? In Cuphead, and after you beat Candy comes out of the castle, and then after you beat each one of these candy bosses, something extra comes out of the castle while you're fighting the next boss, right?
Okay.
So these little jelly beans come out, and they're like this small on the screen.
Okay.
And there's a section where there's a candy cane or something that pops up, and the candy guys run past it.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the game's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love Cuphead. I'm so happy that they made over 1 million sales already.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool.
I want more games like that.
I want more games like that, but the game was so busy sometimes that you just But anyways, you were saying, sorry.
Oh, that's pretty much... I'm not very good at the game. We played it a lot. We were only playing one player because we didn't have two controllers. I was like, I would have brought another controller over.
That's
known.
It gets really hard with two players because the screen is real busy then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how to do the special move because I did it here and we didn't have it yet. Now we do. But it's such a pretty game,
right?
That you don't really realize how obnoxiously hard it is,
right?
And then I realized it's probably not the best game to stream because it's pretty much doing the same thing over and over again for like an hour trying to beat.
Well, it's kind of cool watching the streamer beat it, like finally beat the boss that they were working on so hard, you know?
Yeah, but we weren't beating it very quickly. Like, it was probably pretty boring.
It's a great game, though. It really is.
It was cool, and I like most of the stuff about it. I like how you could upgrade your stuff. That was really interesting. And you could customize your playstyle, so If you wanted to play more defensively against the bosses, you could, or if you want to play more offensively.
Right. You have those homing shots, so you can more focus on dodging and you can just shoot, but you also take a damage penalty. I like it too. I like how they borrowed from Mega Man.
Yeah.
Because it feels like Mega Man boss fights.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like, they definitely took inspiration from that, for sure. But I do like how you can... Like, I always take the shotgun shot, the red arrows.
I didn't get to that one because we should have bought that. I found out later as I progressed the game that would have been really helpful in a lot of levels.
It's nice because you kill them faster.
You're doing
That's the only
consistent
reason
damage.
That's the only reason I pick it. But you have to like be right up in their face. So, you have that penalty, like risk and reward kind of thing. But I loved Cuphead. Like, I haven't beat it yet.
Cool. I wouldn't assume so. Good lord.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
I get frustrated. And I hate when people compare it to Dark Souls.
It's
people
not do that.
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, this is Souls." It's like Souls because it's so hard. Just because it's difficult doesn't make it Dark Souls. It's not. That's not the same thing. Dark Souls punishes you to punish you.
That's just Dark Souls is a sadist game.
Yeah, like you can do
you hate yourself if you want to play Dark Souls.
You can do everything right and still die in Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's.
Cuphead,
that's a good game too, but
Dark Souls is a fantastic game. I love it. But is memorization. You memorize what the
Mega Man.
You memorize what the bosses do, and you win. You can't do that in Dark Souls. Even if you memorize things, your guy, he trips, he doesn't roll correctly,
Stupid.
And there are the people that beat it without taking any damage, which those people are not human.
Aliens.
And somebody already beat Cuphead without taking any damage. All the bosses.
What?
Yeah.
Without taking any damage. Would you
No
just
damage.
quit when you take damage? You have to restart?
Yeah, they just retry. No damage, all bosses.
That's impossible.
They did it. It's incredible.
I hate those people.
But
Way too much time on
I
their
loved
hands.
Cuphead, but that's another thing that kind of like bothered. You can never beat a boss for the first time. You can't go to the boss and beat it. It's not possible. No, there's no moment where you're like, I'm really good at games, so I'm gonna be able to beat. It just doesn't happen. I almost beat. I think when I first fought the garden boss.
Yeah.
I almost beat that the first time.
I did get to that one. Ew.
Where you fight the guy that throws nuts at you, and then
Oh, okay. I was thinking
the onion that cries on you.
Did you fight the flower?
Yeah, I fought the flower. The flower.
I hated my life.
No, the flower is not something you're gonna beat on the first go.
Mm-mm.
No way.
And he switches it up every time too.
Yeah. It is a fantastic game, and I hope we see more. I hope we see Cuphead 2, or they flesh it out more, because the side-scrolling sections were stupid.
You didn't like those?
No, I hated it.
I thought those were pretty cool.
It's
a different change. It's not you're stuck in one place.
Single player, right? It works great for single player, and you weren't able to experience the multiplayer.
Okay, now I see where that could be real stupid.
The multiplayer side-scrolling was just dumb.
I totally get where that would be obnoxious. Okay, I see now.
Yeah, I like the side-scrolling parts. It's cool. I feel like it was tacked on. They weren't like, we don't just want to do boss runs. We want to also
do this.
Do some side-scrolling. But
I liked the ones that were just challenges that weren't bosses. Like the first one was teaching you how to do the parry, where you just had to
jump on the ghost. Yeah, that was fun.
That was a cool one. I like that change where it wasn't a boss, but you had to it was a puzzle kind of.
Yeah, but where Cuphead excels is in the single room.
Yeah.
When you have to move left or right.
Yeah.
It doesn't excel. It's still good. It's just not. You can tell that's not the way the game was built. That wasn't built with that in mind.
But it was pretty good. I enjoyed Cuphead. I would play more Cuphead.
Yeah. I'm going to beat Cuphead eventually.
Well,
when honestly, I feel like dedicating.
It's going to be like Mega Man, where it's like, I love Mega Man, I'm going to do this, and then I'm like, I'm really bad at this.
We almost beat Mega Man 7, though.
That's true. I wasn't very smart as a kid, so I never knew. If you beat one boss, you can beat them all.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. It's a rock, paper, scissors formula.
Yeah.
That's the whole Mega Man thing.
But I still want to play. I'm on a Mega Man kick. I want to play more Mega Man.
Yeah.
Oh, and I figured out it's not X8 I was looking for. It's X7. We have to get Mega Man X7. That was where Axel was.
Or it's multiplayer?
Yeah.
Which I've never played.
That's why I need to find it, because we need to play that game, because you love it.
What is it on?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
Mega Man's fantastic. Mega Man is when I played, I think it was Mega Man 8.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real special game for me. I loved Mega Man. I still love Mega Man. I have a Mega Man helmet right over there.
Mega Man's really sweet. And X7 was real dope, and you'd like it, and we were going to play it. I really want to play... I never beat the Mega Man Zeros either.
Those are very good.
Those were super cool.
You should get the ones on the DS. They're really good. Mega Man ZX. They're very good.
I played the ones on the DS. I played the one for Game Boy. I think I had Mega Man 04.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I wish they would expand on the Mega Man formula and not kill it like they did with Mighty Number 9.
Oh, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
It comes up a lot for us, but I was so excited about it. But
I was super stoked.
I wish they would do a modern, like after seeing Cuphead, right?
Yeah.
I want to see a new Mega Man that like really takes from like Cuphead's polish. Like that's where Cuphead really did amazing is polish. Yeah. It's a very polished game. There's no moment where you're like, well, that was stupid. Yeah. You're just like, whoa.
The whole thing is...
The whole thing. You're like, wow, did you see that? Yeah. You know, I'm watching a movie.
It's all different. It's real cool. That's what they should do, too, a Mega Man movie. I used to watch a TV show. Mega Man TV show? Yeah.
The Mega Man TV show was not fantastic.
No, it wasn't great, but I watched it. It was good.
I also watched it, and I tried watching it recently. It wasn't good. I
feel like anything's like that, though.
No, there's some shows and movies that hold up the test of the time, like Space Jam.
Oh yeah, some of them, but some of them don't. Like Transformers.
No, you're right. What's another game you played or that you've been like interested in?
I told you I've been really into Pokemon. I don't want to get. There's nothing more to go into on that because
you covered it extensively.
The same damn thing over and over again. It's obnoxious.
Okay, someone like you who's like avid Pokemon player, how would you improve Pokemon to make it better?
I wouldn't improve it. I'd just make it go back to the original. Like,
there's an improvement, though.
Yeah, no, same art style. I love the art style they're doing now, but go back. Because I want more puzzles, honestly. I want it to be harder. Okay. And they made leveling your Pokemon really easy now because...
the daycares and all that?
No, they gave you an experience share. What experience share used to do is take all of like the experience and like split it up and give it to all your party. But now what it does is it gives you the original Pokemon that you're fighting, bonus experience, and then it gives everyone else like this experience that you would have got normally.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what? So... That's super dumb.
So you wanted the grind to come back?
I want the grind. Dude, that was the part that was... There's a main part of Pokemon is you had to level. If you didn't level...
Yeah.
It was hard to get through the game.
I just don't feel like... I feel like just watching how kids play games now, grinding is going to become less and less prevalent.
Yeah, but the grind was... It was important.
Right. I mean, I get what you're saying.
And then you had to fight all the trainers. Because you had to use that experience to... grind yourself faster, right?
Yeah.
Because you got more experience from like fighting them versus a normal Pokemon in the wild.
Yeah.
So you had to go fight all of them, and then I like the puzzle aspect where, like I said in our last episode, they didn't just tell you where to go, like you had to figure it out, and then you had a reason to talk to random people in the game,
right?
Because you had to figure out where you had to go, and you couldn't do that unless you talked to the right people. So then you're figuring stuff out accidentally in the old games.
Like Mewtwo.
Yeah. And you're figuring out stuff accidentally, like getting the Eevee and stuff, because you had to explore their entire world to figure out where you actually had to go.
Or Polygon, when you had to do the gambling thing. And
oh yeah, the Porygon was... Get out of here. The Porygon was like and you had to spend days... playing stupid slot machines as a child to get the Porygon.
Porygon, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool, like, mini stuff, but it was a puzzle.
That's the part I remember, I think, most.
Or, like, really good examples, like, in the second games, Silver and Gold, you had to figure out the unknown puzzle.
Right.
And that was really hard. As a child, I was stumped for a long time trying to figure out this puzzle.
I think that they should put in content that's difficult to get, because especially with the online stuff, which is fantastic, by the way. I love Wonder Trade.
Dude, I Wonder Trade for hours. That was a good thing that they added.
Wonder Trade is fantastic. I threw so many Bidoofs into the world.
Oh, man. That and Pidgeys, Slowpokes.
I got a shiny once from Wonder Trade.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I like that you can ask for specific things, too, if you want to.
Yeah. I think that would be a huge thing, where you can see other people with this super interesting, unique thing, and then you would be like, how do I get that? And that would, drive people to unlock and find the really obscure things.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I just want more difficulty, really.
Yeah.
Because it's real easy. It feels really easy to catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because, things have just been, full health, and I chuck a Pokeball at it.
Catch.
There's also too many of those now. It's too many Pokeballs.
Different types?
Yeah, there's 50 of them, and
It's
I'm
stupid. It's ridiculous.
I used 3 in the original game, plus the Master Ball.
Yeah, Pokeball, Great Ball,
Ultra Ball.
Ultra Ball, Master Ball.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
it.
all you need.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're gonna add some more stuff.
Aqua Ball,
this one
Net
heals
Ball.
them when you catch them. This one's good against water. I was like, no, this is stupid. It was okay in Gold and Silver when you had to go out of your way to find the apricots. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah.
And then you had to forge those special balls. That was something you had to go out of your way to do to get a reward.
Yeah.
That was cool. But now they just give them to you. They literally hand them to you. You just talk to people. And they're like, here, 10. Here's 10.
Here
Take
you
them.
go. Take them. Use them.
And I'm like, what?
I think it's cool, though, how when you throw out your Pokemon, whether you're playing online or
It looks different.
you throw out the ball and it's the Pokeball you caught them with. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's a cool effect.
it is.
Well, whenever you put online in a game, just across the board, giving yourself a way to make yourself look unique,
Yeah.
people are gonna go crazy about that. Like, I remember in Halo 3, when you could get the Samurai Sword. If you got all the
Yeah.
achievements, you got the Samurai Sword.
Which was cool.
That was cool. It was one of the things that I accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Samurai Sword, and people would message me all the time, how did you get the Samurai Sword?
Yeah, and I want more things like that.
Yeah, where it's really hard to get something, or
They just hand everything to you.
nowadays it's all about range, RNG, where you're like, it's random,
Yeah.
and you just have to keep doing it until you get to. And I love I love randomness in games. I
Uh-huh.
do, but I also like really hard things to get, so you can be like, look what I did, look how hard I grinded.
Yeah, I did a lot of work for this thing.
Yeah, I worked really hard to accomplish
They
this.
they just hand everything to you in the new ones. And
Yeah.
I don't
It's the
like
same
that.
thing like World of Warcraft. Like, when I first started playing World of Warcraft, it was incredible. Everything was hard.
Yeah. I like the difficult. That's what I like in games. I like difficulty where
Yeah.
it takes me... I have to have some skill at this thing
Yeah.
to do it well. And now you don't. You just gotta walk through
Well,
it.
when I first started playing games when I was like 5, I played the Super Nintendo, and everything was hard.
Yeah.
And then it sort of got easier and easier and easier as time went on. And then Dark Souls came out, and everybody freaked out. They're like, "Oh my god, this game's so hard!
Yeah,
It's
and
great!
You're like, yeah, it's a normal game. You're just all real dumb.
It's real good." Well, Dark Souls is. It's not just hard, right? So like, Cuphead is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's hard. Dark Souls specifically has mechanics that make the game more difficult.
Yeah.
Your character is not easy to control. He's clunky.
Yeah.
He's weird. If you put heavy armor on
It's
him,
worse.
he's slow. He can't roll. You put light armor on him, you have more mobility, but you're gonna get squashed if you get hit. So it's this whole like balancing thing,
Yeah.
But you can be perfect at Dark Souls and something bad can happen and you die.
Yeah.
That's not like Cuphead where
If you're perfect at it, you just...
if you're perfect at it, if you are very good at Cuphead and you know exactly what the person's going to do, you can beat the entire game without ever taking damage.
Yeah.
So it's not to say you can't do that in Dark Souls, it's just more difficult.
Yeah, and I want a higher difficulty, I think, in Pokemon. That would be cool, because it's like... I understand their demographic is mostly for children,
Mm-hmm. And
but
it is.
the people who were children that started with it still like the games, and it's too easy now.
You're never going to do that with Nintendo, though. Like, Nintendo makes the best games. They do.
Yeah.
Because they're the most polished. They don't come out with bugs. They actually know how to make games that perform well.
Yeah.
You don't see FPS often. You don't see often FPS drops or game-breaking bugs in Nintendo games. But the problem is, they're not really interested in online play.
Yeah.
They're not really interested in, making a hardcore Pokemon. That's not even on their list to do. And people don't know this. People don't know this, but Nintendo doesn't actually make Pokemon. Game Freak does.
Yeah.
Which is they only release games for Nintendo, but they're not owned by Nintendo.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like a Japanese developer thing where they do things their way, and they're not really interested in they don't need to do it different.
They don't, but I wish they would just come out with an adult version where it's super hard,
super difficult,
to play,
or
just even a version that you could turn on.
Well, you have fan-made games, but they will sue you.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. They do the same thing with streamers. Like, people are afraid to stream Nintendo games because Nintendo will take all of the
profit,
all the money that they made off of ads on those videos, which is crazy to me because it's essentially free advertisement.
Yeah,
it's YouTubers and streamers.
Yeah.
Look at PUBG. PUBG is a perfect example of how YouTube and streamers drive sales.
Yeah.
PUBG is the #1 game on Steam, and it's because everybody's playing it.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, what I would like from them. I want higher difficulty, higher bar, something to keep me interested for longer.
And I guess there isn't a chance for you to have that happen because if you look at Breath of the Wild was not easy.
No.
It just wasn't. Those monsters will crush you.
Yeah, and
then they released Master Mode. That was harder.
It still felt like a Zelda game.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic accomplishment, I think.
Like, do that.
So maybe
Pokemon.
Maybe.
Come on.
Maybe you'll get your hard Pokemon game.
Oh, that'd be so good. So good.
You want to spin the wheel one more time?
Yep. Let's do it. We got... Still going. It's just kind of this random picker thing.
Spin it.
I'm doing it. It keeps going back to real monsters at once. All right, we got a breakdown. So we're gonna do the breakdown of a show,
or a game,
mm-hmm. or a movie, And which one did we settle on? Did you want to do?
Well, I mean, let's break something down that we've talked about today.
Today?
Yeah.
Something that I've already broke down Pokemon 2 weeks in a row. So let's pick something else.
Let's think about something that we've extensively experienced. League. Let's break it down.
League of Legends.
Goods and bads.
All right. Goods. You want to go pros first or cons first?
Let's go pros first.
Okay. Pros. It's real fun. It's real addicting.
I will second the addicting part. I will not the fun part.
A good thing is it's meant to have team cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, it doesn't.
Well, right. I think a perfect example of why League has issues is because they discourage behavior instead of encouraging behavior.
Yeah.
So, a perfect example is World of Warcraft. When World of Warcraft was in the beta phase, they had this thing where the longer you played, the less experience you got.
Okay.
To discourage people from playing all day, right? That system, people hated it. People absolutely despised it.
I can see why.
Yeah, so basically you got punished for playing the game. So they created a new system, which is still in it today, where the longer breaks you take, the more you get bonus experience when you come back.
Okay.
So instead of discouraging behavior...
So instead of being like, we don't want to give you all the experience for playing this, they're like, if you come back, we're giving you catch-up experience. Kind of.
It's more like they encourage you to take breaks, because if you took breaks, you could get grind get further with your grind in less amount of time. Instead of discouraging grinding, they encourage taking breaks, and that was much more successful.
It's way better.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with League of
Legends. Then I
Legends.
don't feel bad about quitting,
Right? That's the same thing about League of Legends.
Yeah.
The community does not encourage good behavior. It discourages bad behavior by, you suck.
You get banned.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue with it. Like, this is a community-driven game, and we still have no solution on how to make... Like, if let's talk about this. Let's imagine a perfect world where the League of Legends community was nice
to you,
and they encouraged everyone to be better. Not only would the overall skill of League of Legends players go up, teamwork would go up, enjoyment would go up, the competitive scene would become more competitive.
Yeah.
Instead, it doesn't really matter if you're toxic, or if you tell a 12-year-old to kill themselves,
which is ridiculous.
Because you're going to get banned for 9 days? What are you going to do? You're going to make a Smurf account. Everybody has 17 Smurf accounts already.
Yeah.
That's my biggest con. There's no encouragement for good behavior, and there's only discouragement for bad behavior that is really not a penalty at all.
Yeah, because you can just create another account.
You're just going to create a Smurf account. Also, people getting into the league for the first time, right? The first thing that they're going to get the first time they decide to play with people is, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of my game. Go kill yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been told to kill myself. Or seen it
in that game.
Yeah, and you can do everything right,
and people still get mad at you because they're losing.
Yeah. That's a huge con of League of Legends that I think there are solutions to.
Yeah. A good thing about the game, since we're on pros, we kind of made it into the cons. A good thing is the art style is real cool. The art on the champions look awesome.
Yeah. And
they got that part nailed.
And it's not too busy. You can, even when it does get crazy in team fights, but even in the crazy team fight, you can still keep track of it's
easy to find
your champion. That is a pro. That's a very, you can't do that in RTS. You can't do that in Dota.
Yeah. And
Dota's way too busy.
And along the same lines, all the skins that they release are super cool. Some of them are not that great, but 90% I would say are cool skins. They're cool changes to your character. And the chromas, people are like, oh, it's a money-making scheme. The chromas are, but also they're kind of cool.
Well, the game's free.
Yeah.
They have to make money somehow.
And you can, but it's a cool thing that even if you have a skin, and two people have the same skin, you could have a color that's different. That's really cool.
That is cool.
That's a way that's one of the main things that got me into the game was the characters, how they looked.
Right.
I was like, I like that character, and then I like that they wrote the little bios and backstories.
There's a story that you don't have to be a part of, but you can.
But you can.
Yeah.
Right? That's cool.
Optional.
If you like the character enough to look into the backstory, you can see how they connect. Which they have to fix that because they, somewhere in the middle of League of Legends' existence, decided that Summoner's Rift wasn't really a thing.
That's weird.
They're like, the League of Legends didn't happen. These people just live in this universe. And I was like, okay, well, now you got to change some of their backstories because some of them are just like, they went to the League of Legends to be part of it.
Are there lore nerds though for League of Legends?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. There definitely is people who are super into it. I like it. I haven't searched extensively, but that's the part I find cool about it is that they added a whole bunch of lore on the characters.
I always like in games in general when the story is told through playing the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of League of Legends lore because
it's not told when you're playing the game.
It's unessential. It's not. The characters do communicate to each other, but if you had call outs where the characters when they were with somebody that Caitlyn,
kind of like Rakan and Xayah do.
Yeah.
Right.
If there was more of that, where you were like, why did they say that to each other?
If you have Ashe and Tryndamere in the same game because they're married in the universe. Yeah. So they should talk to each other.
Yeah, without having to actually do taunts. Passively, your character communicates when in the area of another.
That'd be cool. That'd be a really cool add-on to the game, I think.
Yeah.
Character interaction, and even character interaction in a a negative way. So if you have
Vi and Caitlyn on the same team.
Yeah, well, they like each other, but if you had Jinx and
Vi,
Caitlyn,
I thought Oh, right, yeah.
Just feel like Jinx and Caitlyn.
Jinx and Caitlyn.
Which you shouldn't have those two on the same team.
Right, but if you did,
Yeah.
they could, like, communicate. It happens in Smite.
Does it?
Yeah, where
They do that?
in Smite they, like, talk to each other. Like, when Ares kills Bologna, they're both the god of war.
Mm.
The god and the goddess of war. They're like, who's the god of war now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
that's cool.
stuff
So
like
that'd
that.
be, yeah, so, like, if Caitlyn killed Jinx...
Yeah, she
Be
could
like-
be like, I finally brought you to justice or something.
Yeah, that'd be real cool.
But they don't really do that.
No, that'd be really cool. Hopefully, maybe they'll do that in the future.
Yeah.
When they watch this podcast,
Well,
and
they're
realize
right.
that they maybe should have changed it.
I mean, they're already copying Smite in the fact that they have emotes now, which Smite has
Yep.
had since the beginning
Yep.
of.
I heard some people on my podcast talk about that.
Yeah. Like, Smite's been doing that since the very creation of Smite. So they essentially just copied it.
Yeah,
Like,
and they're
yo.
they're trying to make it more not influential, but more appealing to the new crowd, the people that are just joining.
Not gonna happen until you sort out the community.
Yeah. Yep. But it doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't.
So
matter.
it's a cool thing.
But, like, I think it should just be discouraged. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I really think Smurfs should be discouraged.
yeah. Yeah. Overall,
Think
not
about it,
But
and-
there should be then a system where you can play with somebody who you're getting into the game.
Right.
But
But think about this. Here's
Okay.
a perfect example of why Smurfs aren't banned, but they should be. The reason why they shouldn't be, the reason why they should be banned is because you can create a new account and play noobs.
yeah.
Totally wreck them.
just destroy them.
Just mess them up. Yeah, they have this super special technology to determine whether you're a Smurf
It's
or not.
pretty good.
It
It's
is-
honestly pretty good.
It's pretty good, but imagine being a noob, and because Smurfs are so prevalent, imagine getting into League for the first time right now.
You just get destroyed.
You get wrecked over and over and over again, and then you're like, okay. I mean, it does encourage to get better, but at the same time,
It's
you want to
discouraging
learn
'cause you're-
with people who are on the same skill level as you. Like, that's why we create skill levels. That's why we create MMR, right? That's what it's for, because
Mhm.
it's a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
You know, here's why it's not going to get banned. People create Smurf accounts, then they buy skins on that Smurf account that they maybe had on their other account. It's just continual sales for League.
I did that.
I know, exactly. So they're not going to be like, oh, let's turn this off,
Yeah.
because there's an endless circle of people just getting on League with their new account and purchasing character packs and purchasing their favorite skin.
And to justify my creating of a Smurf, it was your idea.
No, I thought it was a good idea because I thought, oh, hey, we'll start over. It's been years since we played League. This will be
Yeah.
fair. That's not how it worked out, though.
No, it ended up recognizing that there were Smurf accounts.
And we were playing like diamonds.
And then we got destroyed.
That's in the pros and cons, it's the metagame.
Yeah.
The pro is you feel more attached to the game, you understand how it works. The cons are your favorite character is trash.
Yeah. I'll still play my favorite character over.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you have a whole meta team against a whole non-meta team, who's going to win?
If equal skill level, then yeah. Meta team.
Meta team is going to win every time.
It happens.
So that's a pro and a con.
Unless you're ahead of the meta.
Which, okay.
Be ahead of the meta.
Yeah. So that's breaking it down. That's a pro and a con. Because you can be more attached to your game, right? Because you understand how the inner workings of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it also sucks.
Yeah,
'Cause-
because you can't. Sometimes, if you want to be part of the meta, you can't play the character that you really like.
Yeah.
Which I never worry about, because I just play the characters that I really like.
Right. But, like, breaking it down,
Yeah.
there's a valid point.
I think also all chat shouldn't be a thing.
All chat.
Yeah, because you can type to the people on the other team, and if you have it on, they can type to you, and
Yeah.
it gets real toxic. That's one of the biggest problems.
I don't think it's an issue when you're able to chat against your opponents because you don't expect friendly exchanges when you're talking to your opponent.
Yes, yeah.
The more issue is when you're talking to your teammates, right?
Yeah.
So even like if you analyze the competitive League players, they are encouraging to their teams,
Yep.
right? That they literally are.
Which I'm guilty of not doing that.
And I don't say anything rude.
I try not to talk if I can help it.
I try to be as nice as possible, but
sometimes I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm like, which you shouldn't. I've looked into this too because I listened to some podcasts on it, but it's like sometimes you just shouldn't talk to people at all because they can be taken wrong, and if it's like, hey, you should have done this, it's not going to help this game.
So what would you do? What's a good thing you would do, just in games in general? Because we talk about random topics, and this is the one that came up. What would you do to improve the League of Legends community? Because we're talking about it. It's a massive con. How do you improve it? How do you encourage better behavior?
Okay, well, they did the honor system.
Which is stupid.
You don't like it?
It doesn't do anything.
I like it just because now I get rewarded. Honestly, it showed because I tried to help people.
Yeah.
And my one friend doesn't really.
Yeah.
And he didn't get honors, like the big honor 5 for like months after it's out. I got it in like a week.
Okay.
Because I got honored because I was nice to people.
I've seen it though across the board where I'm on a full team of people with honor points, and there's still really shitty people in my group. So the honor doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
convey
it didn't
anything.
Fix it. It didn't fix it. How? Okay, so how would I fix it?
How do you fix it?
It's really, I don't know. You have to give some sort of reward, right, for people.
You have to encourage good behavior, but you have to encourage it. Like, actually encourage it, and not like...
I think, okay, maybe we take your idea. You know how you can report people?
Yeah.
There should be report people for good behavior.
Good behavior?
Yeah. It's like you can get reported for good stuff. Like,
commended?
Hey, yeah, recommend. You can get commended.
Yeah.
For doing good and being helpful. Like, you can be like, hey, I want Riot to know that this person is helpful. And then they can be like, here's a key fragment. Because you were helpful. And I'll be like, oh, sweet. I think it would help a little bit.
I think it would help a little bit too, but like the key fragments...
It wouldn't fix it.
The key fragments do not motivate me to do anything.
Yeah, but you got to give something small that you can just keep getting over and over.
Right. Why don't you give something like more substantial?
Or like an icon?
Maybe not even an icon. Maybe actual like riot points for being... Because, okay, if you have a good community, your game sells itself.
So let's say you get like, what, maybe like 10, 15 riot points if you get like commended,
and you'd have to prevent people from being able to commend each other somehow. That's a problem.
Okay.
So
then maybe make it like 5, but you're still getting something, right?
You have to.
And a lot of times you're only like 5 riot points short of getting the next. What
I'm saying is that the encouragement has to be substantial. So the toxic people are like, I really have to work on my behavior because I really want, this incredible thing you get for being a good player and a good part of the community.
Maybe we go back to the negative side and you can get IP taken away.
No, I don't think you should do that. It's always better to encourage behavior than discourage it. And my biggest beef is people get banned. Doesn't matter.
Because they just...
I'm just gonna make a new account. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
And Riot thinks, I don't really care because they're gonna spend more money on my game.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to fix it other than people should be nicer to each other. Like
there has to be a way to fix it because there are games with fantastic communities. I can't think of any right now, but I know they're out there.
It's not the Call of Duty community because I was there and they were
no. Actually, most of my experiences on Xbox Live have been good.
That's good. I think they fixed a lot on PlayStation Network too,
but like that's my biggest issue with League is like instead of saying, "Hey, you're trash, you should kill yourself," just be like, "Here's what you did wrong, and then here's how you do it better."
People shouldn't take that terribly too, because they're always like, "Well, screw you! Don't tell me what to do." Like, but you're doing dumb things. Clearly, you made the mistake. Yeah. I'm just trying to help.
But if we had a not only would the meta flourish because we have new players with new ideas, right? Instead of essentially right now, the state of League now is hundreds and hundreds and thousands of regurgitated players who have made hundreds of accounts.
Yeah.
But instead you should really just have one account and you should stop making 37 Smurfs.
Yeah. I have one Smurf and
I have a Smurf as well.
It made sense for me to do that.
Because you hadn't played in years.
Yeah, and now I'm not going to make another one because...
No. There's no reason to.
No. I have no reason to... I honestly use the Smurf more than the normal one now.
Yeah, I won't get back on my normal account. My normal account is gone.
I'm going to get back on it because... I'll tell you why. Because they're going to give me all that money back for buying Rune pages back in the day, and then I'm going to buy stuff for myself on my Smurf account.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
that.
Oh,
I've been doing it because I had Riot Points on there. And
oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you have any on your old one, go on it and buy yourself
Oh, no,
stuff.
I don't have Riot Points.
Did you buy Rune pages back in the day?
No.
Like none?
No. Never did.
Because I bought a bundle and I'm going to get that back and I'm going to buy myself some skins.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely ways to do it, and we should break it down and really think about how to improve it.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it's all about game design, game theory. Like, how do you encourage better behavior?
Yeah.
To.
I like. Oh, you know what I thought was pretty cool. This doesn't really help it, but a mode that was cool that I didn't find any toxic stuff in was the Star Guardians
PvE modes. Player versus environment modes. Yeah.
It was really cool because the only people that were in it were people... Because you had to work together to beat the thing.
But you have to work together to beat people.
Yeah, you'd think that would be a correlation people would make.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No.
But everyone in that game mode was really nice. And they were like, hey, we're not doing good. Here's what we should do. And I was like, oh, you're right. Maybe I'll try that this time and see if we win. And we did. We won.
I think
that's weird. That's a weird correlation that works, right?
I think another issue with League in general and why it's so hard is because you spend so much of your time on one game.
Yeah.
And then that one person's really bad. And you lose because of it. That's frustrating.
So, like, quicker games would be...
Quicker... I think encouraging games to be faster somehow would be better.
Okay, so maybe make...
that comes down to player skill, though. Like, you can make a short game. You can finish a game in 20 minutes.
So maybe making the neutral objectives more powerful? Well, like, taking a dragon is really important. So you have to work with your team...
to get the dragons.
Which they are important, but if... I think
you can still win without ever taking them. Not in competitive, but like in a normal... Yeah.
Games more... like, quicker. You can make them quicker at the lower elos if you made them more
important,
more potent.
Yeah,
you get
so
more
like Heroes of the Storm does something really cool where when you take neutral camps, they go whatever they're called mercenaries in Heroes, where you kill the camp and then they go into the lane. Whatever was in the camp when you kill it, it goes into the corresponding lane and pushes that lane.
That's cool.
So every time the camp comes back, you take those camps. So imagine wolves, right? You take wolves, and then now the wolves are in the lane.
Which would be super annoying.
Super annoying, but it encourages taking the camps, and it makes the lanes push faster.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be cool.
So, like, Heroes of the Storm, totally different game than League. Can't even be compared to League. It's just a MOBA. They're both MOBAs. But Heroes of the Storm games are much quicker, and they're more objective-based. As where League of Legends... it's not really objective based. You should take towers, but
it should be objective based.
But people just they don't see that as a priority.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool change.
Well, some sort of change similar to that, where you can make the lane push harder, or or because like early Elo, right, or early MMR, people don't even take dragon.
Yeah.
People don't even...
they just forget about it.
Oh,
that's so annoying.
People don't even jungle, And in this meta, if you don't have a good jungler, you're going to lose. And that's another con of League of Legends.
They nerf the jungle a little bit.
It's still super important. If you have a guy jungling and you're not jungling, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. But they give you catch-up experience right now. So you don't get... if you're just learning to jungle, it's a really good time to do it because you don't get punished as much for not doing good.
Which was a smart move.
That's really cool.
I think that was a good move. But what I'm saying is, you have to, in a game that is fun, that is successful, there has to be multiple viable options. And as you get more and more into League, as you get better and better at League, your viable options become limited.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big issue. for tournament play, your viable options are so much more limited, right?
Yeah.
There are only certain things that you can do or you will lose.
Yeah.
Only certain champs you can pick or you will lose.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. I think that's a big con of League of Legends. Like,
I think there should be some more stupid counterplay ideas that people should do and just implement and see how it works. Because
I think that there should be more, like, there should be modes where they mess around with the map to find new ideas.
Yeah, that would be cool if they just threw in they're like, this is what it would be if we reskinned League of Legends, and then just put that as the rotating game mode.
Yeah, just some sort of game mode where we can just, like, test new ideas, because like I said, I feel like League of Legends sometimes just takes too long. I won't even play League sometimes,
so,
because
like,
I'm like,
if they just took the map and
they could shrink it, they could do that thing where you take a camp and it pushes a lane harder, something to, like, speed it up and encourage people to be nice.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest cons of League of Legends. And League of Legends is pushing real hard right now. I have seen more League ads
on YouTube
than I've ever seen.
Yep.
So they're really pushing for new players to get in,
Which is cool.
But right now, the state of the community,
it's
those
scary
poor
into it.
Kids.
It's like jumping into a pool of acid.
Yeah, those poor kids getting into League thinking they're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're not going to have a good time. It's going to suck.
I just say don't play with the community and play with your friends.
What if you don't have friends?
Then you make friends slowly.
How do you make friends in League?
That's true, you can't. Make friends in another game and then take them to League. And then only play with your friends because...
But then that sucks too, because you should be able to play League by yourself or with friends in order for the community to thrive.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
I'm just
happen.
telling people in general, don't play with people that aren't your friends because it's more fun with friends.
It absolutely is more. It is a social game, and it's more fun when you can communicate, and you should be able to encourage communication.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would help. I think that would be a good system.
Yeah.
Where you got maybe points or something for communicating in game,
Mm-hmm.
and it being positive communication or tips.
Okay.
So what you sent in that game goes towards some sort of score, because some games people don't talk at all.
Mm-hmm.
In other games, the talk is all negative. I don't think I've ever played a League of Legends game where it was all positive, reinforcing talk.
I don't think I
ever.
have
And if you encourage, it's contagious when people are like, well, when I first started learning, there was so-and-so, he was real nice, he said a bunch of stuff, and encourage that behavior so the chat is filled with more friendly talk. It's going to feel like a more welcoming place where it feels good to learn, instead of, you better learn or kill yourself.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, that's so terrible.
I think that's the solution, really. I think that's a very good solution.
Yeah.
What else? What do you think about it?
I can't. It's so hard to think of a way to... Because that game should work. The way it's set up, it should work, but people are so just mean to each other.
I wish that another thing that I hate, and another thing that I'm going to probably... People are going to be like, what was wrong with you? I hate last hits.
You don't like the last hitting?
I hate it. It's stupid.
I think it's real annoying, and you should just get, like, points for being near the things.
But here's why it's stupid. You limit the meta because of that. You want to know why? If you're running duels in a lane, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
There could be metas that work really cool, like 2 mids, 2 tops.
See, that would be super cool. I would love to do that.
You can't do that with last hits. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because if one guy's staying in top and he's playing smart and he's positioning well, he's doubling gold in that lane, and you're going to lose because he's going to get overpowered and he's going to steamroll both of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see. That makes sense. I would like to see a change there too. So you could do... I'd like it to become more of a strategy game.
Instead of a do everything perfectly game?
Yeah, rather than a do everything perfectly game. I want it to become a thing where you can... Alright, so let's relate it to sports, because it's an esport, right?
Yeah.
For football or basketball, you got plays, right?
Tons of them.
You get tons of plays, all kinds of crazy stuff.
In League of Legends, you don't.
No, because you're limited to doing one thing.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool if they somehow allowed you to just do crazy
No, that's what I'm
strategies.
saying. That's why I hate League. Because in order to be a good, successful game, there has to be a lot of viable options.
Yeah.
In every single player game, you have many options to accomplish the same goal.
Yeah.
In League of Legends, you really don't. You have to get CS.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're
going to lose.
Do too hot.
You're going to lose. You have to do certain things a certain way in order to win. If you got rid of the last hitting mechanic, that would open up, new lane play.
Yeah.
Because right now you have to take those support items as a support because you don't get gold.
Yeah.
So you have to supplement that somehow.
Yeah.
But if you put it on a character in mid or something, it would suck. You wouldn't work, right?
Yeah.
You only support should buy gold items, and sometimes jungle does too.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the last hit mechanic encourages the game to be played the same way all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, let's say screw the competitive player. I'm saying let's improve the game so there's more viable options so we can see those interesting plays, those interesting, this team is going to run totally different than any other league team did.
Yeah.
You do that now, and they're going to go 0-2 in a tournament, and they're just going to get freaking demolished. So I think last hitting is a big issue.
Yeah.
And people love it, and I understand, like, if you're good at it, you love it, right? But it's not encouraging to new strategy.
Yeah. Or I think just making characters able to build differently.
Yeah, builds are a big thing, too, that I think limits the game. There are only certain... there's, like, a viable build, but there's only one optional item.
I think some characters, like, a lot of the ones that you can only build tank on, if you were able to just not do that and build that person completely damage... if they scaled well enough, like the other people do, I think that would be.
Yeah, I think builds are an issue, but I think
it should go to it should be like Mega Man. It should be rock paper scissors, and you buy the items that counter the other person's.
I mean, you do that now, but you only have like 1 or 2 items that are optional in your whole build.
There should be more options.
I think many, like I said, many viable options makes for an interesting game, and that's what turns me off to League because I know I have to be ahead in CS. I can't go into this other lane right now because he's beating me in CS. If I go in the other lane, he's going to have a larger... You get what I'm saying? Like, it prevents me from doing interesting, cool things because I get punished for it.
Yeah.
So I get put in this box.
Yeah.
You have to play this way or you're going to lose. And then that also encourages toxicity.
Yeah.
Because new players don't understand the set league rules, right? Which aren't taught by the game; they're taught by the players, by the way.
Which it's kind of taught by the players, but it's only through you getting yelled at.
Yeah,
until you figure out what you're doing wrong, and then when the yelling stops, that's when you're like, "Oh, I've done the right thing now."
And that's unfortunate, and it's really unfortunate because, like, you shouldn't. Okay, you can study before you play a game, but you shouldn't have to because it's a game. You play it.
The tutorial is not very.
The tutorial doesn't help you. No, it doesn't teach you how to jungle at all.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I still don't know how to jungle.
Right, jungling is not.
This game
you learn
years.
that by players. You don't learn it by the game, which is cool, right?
Yeah,
it's cool, but it's not at the same time. It encourages toxicity because every person that plays League expects someone to have this already established knowledge.
It's not there.
That's not there.
Especially if it's your first MOBA.
Yeah.
Which it was my first MOBA.
Right.
So.
It's that knowledge is not there, and you shouldn't have to read 3 books, watch 7 video series just to know how to play a game.
Which now in the future, if you get tier done, they can do in a comfortable environment of their choosing.
Right. But you get what I'm saying? Those are my big cons of League, and I feel like League could... I feel like there are changes to League, because there are changes in the rune system, which was super annoying.
Really? I'm super excited.
No, the
old
root system was super annoying.
Hey, I'm excited because it's like ground zero for everyone now. So.
You know what's real dumb about the rune system in general?
Huh.
This bothers me a lot too.
Okay.
You're fighting someone, you guys are the same character, or you're a character that goes 50-50. There's no advantage on either side, right? It's completely based on play.
They have runes and you don't.
They have runes. You don't.
You're at a disadvantage
You're at a disadvantage already, and it's only determined by play time. It's a MOBA. It's an arena.
Which I'm glad they're getting rid of it. I'm so glad.
I am too, but I hate that rune systems are based on your level. You can't have all the runes when you're level 30. Hopefully that changes.
Yeah.
With the new rune system.
I think it will.
Like, everybody gets to have runes right away. Just the skill system, too. Like, think about Thunderlord's Decree. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful. If you don't have it and they do, and it works with both of your characters, they're going to beat you every time.
Which I think they just realized and is why they're reworking the whole thing. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That was so needed.
Like, I get what they're going for. Hey, we need to encourage people to play for a certain amount of time because they're going to get better. But it's not encouraging for the new players who are fighting against a person with full rune page and a full skill page.
Which I think that's what they're moving towards now is the new demographic.
Yeah.
Because
which is making the competitive players very angry.
Yeah, but also cry about it.
Grow with your game.
Yeah.
If the game doesn't grow, it's going to die.
Yeah. So I like it.
I like it too. I like changes. I like changing things.
Hopefully, all those people that are mad will move to a different game, and then we just get all the new people who are nice.
So I think some real good ways to improve League of Legends is communication encouragement, where it encourages good communication. Mm-hmm. So you can not communicate, but you're going to get bonuses if you do communicate, right? Do something different than last hitting. Yeah. Because last hitting...
Or just make it easier.
Nah, I don't think they should make it easier. Maybe it should be based on how much damage you do to the minion. Because right now you just... The lane stage is so annoying. I
hate that. If we could just eliminate the lane stage.
Run back and forth, run back and forth. Okay, he's almost dead. Hit him. That's the whole... It's boring.
Yeah, that's if we could make it quicker to the team fights.
I don't think that I don't think that you should make it quicker to the team fights. I think you need to encourage new lane play.
Yeah.
Because right now it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
You know, if you both were only focused on CS, you just dance back and forth and never hurt each other at all.
Maybe you just get a certain amount, like a majority of the gold is just from being in your lane in the air or in a lane in an area.
Well, that's the way Heroes does it. It's called soaking, where you don't even have to damage the minions. If you're in the area when they die, you get the experience.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. So, like, if you get killed, clearly you get penalized for it because you're not going to be in the area you're getting gold. So
you died. Yeah,
I think that's they could do that.
So encourage good communication. Mm-hmm. Do something different than last hits, or improve upon the last hit system, and then some sort of something. Maybe a mentor-mentee system where you could teach new players, because...
Well, you can get coaching, but you have to go out of your way to find a person.
You have to pay people to coach you. Why am I paying people to play a game?
There should just be a tutorial for every lane position.
Whatever's meta right now. Yeah. Some sort of adaptable tutorial system that, like, learns from the way players play.
Yeah. Maybe that, too. You know how they do patch notes? Just be like, hey, just so everyone knows, tanks are good right now.
Or just
and then they're labeled tank. Like,
have a tutorial that's based on statistics, because they gather statistics. That's how they change the game. Mm-hmm. That changes based on, hey, right now this character is really good, so maybe try him.
It's like,
but yeah, I think
those are good.
I think League is a good game, but I think that the community is really bringing it back, and we can improve the community.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, what I just said about how players come into the game not knowing it at all, that encourages toxicity.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what the hell kind of noob am I playing with? You know? Like, this is bullcrap because I got the noob, you don't. I'm going to lose. You know, that's
wasted time.
It literally encourages toxicity.
Yeah.
You want to encourage that person not to play anymore so they're never on your team again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a good breakdown.
That was a really good breakdown. I liked it.
I did too.
That's a good section. We're gonna put that back in.
Breaking down stuff.
We've been running for a while, right?
Yeah, we could probably wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
PodLuck Podcast episode 6. We talked about aliens. We talked about monsters. We talked about games, and we broke down League of Legends, and it was pretty good.
If you liked our breakdown section,
let us know.
Let us know on
Twitter. So we can do it again.
At PodLuckCast.
It's also in the bottom thing right there, right down.
Yeah, if you look.
In
the information.
You can click on
it.
Yeah.
Tweet us
suggestions. We'll put them in the wheel and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we want to talk about what you want us to talk about, and
we'll do research beforehand too. We won't just come here and be like, oh,
yeah,
so
if we had something to talk about, we'd look into it.
We prepare for our topics, yeah. So, all right, well, it was fun. We will be back next Saturday, same time, noonish to 1ish to 2ish.
1ish to 2ish. Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
They're always on Saturday.
Every Saturday in the afternoon. As this grows, we'll do 2 podcasts a week. It's only episode 6, and we've improved a lot.
I think it's 5.
No, it's 6.
It's labeled 5.
I updated it. It's 6 now.
Oh, good.
So, all right. Well, we will be back next week. Thanks for stopping in and watching.
For watching, guys.
See you later.
Have a good PodLuck day.